Good morning, everybody. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. The sports master, Justin Ferrer, is to my left, and to my right is Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, and Alex Mayo is out in the studios. He is working on our Facebook link. Today, in about 3 minutes, as you saw, as people don't know, who might have hopefully been looking at our Facebook page links, we are going to have Bob Schrader. He is the president of East Bridgewater Little League and WARA, along with ourselves, went down to East Bridgewater Little League and covered their East Bridgewater Championship Series a couple weeks ago, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to get the kids on and talk about how much fun they had in Little League, because Little League only happens once once you're involved. So we're going to have them in studio. The other thing, I got a new phone, so I'm really messing this up. So we do have a call, and just like that, and here is our first call. Bob, is this you?
This is me.
Bob, thank you for calling. This is Bob Schrader. He is the president. I was just getting ready to run your name into the mud. No, I'm only kidding. And I was just setting up my phone for people watching the stream online, so I want to make sure I don't miss anybody calling in. From East Bridgewater. Of course, they can listen. They can listen online if they can get it. I think 1320 AM came in pretty good during the championship series, and of course on the Facebook page right now. So I'm trying to be ambidextrous, Bob, without blowing up my new phone. So I want to make sure if someone has a question for us, we'll be ready to answer them. So I have with me I have Catherine Conley and Justin Ferrer. So we'll be jumping around, asking you questions. So who do we have with us now? I know we talked a little bit, but who do we have with us right now? Besides yourself, or are we waiting for another call?
For right now, it's myself.
Yeah.
My son's with me, Luke. Gabe Garcia will be calling in a little bit, and Derek Jenkins at the bottom of the hour, I assume.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, so we have you and Luke with us right now, right?
Correct.
All right, so Luke went 3 for 6 in the championship series, 3 singles. He batted .500. So Luke, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I need you guys to get close to the mic because you sound really, really far away, or really close to the phone. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Attaboy. So before I start picking any dead, I thought you'd educate us. So what did it feel like playing in that championship game? What was that? What was your feeling, your emotions and the thoughts you were thinking? It must have been a lot of fun, though, right?
Yeah, it was really fun. First game, I messed up a couple times, but it was kind of scary because I thought we were going to lose because I messed up a couple times in the field. Second game, but it felt really good because we were hitting the ball a lot, so yeah.
All right, cool. So did you think, I know the Astros record going into this championship series. Were you surprised at all that they knocked off the Athletics?
I knew the Athletics were really good.
Yeah.
But the Astros, they have a young team. They're a good team. It's just they're going up against a bunch of older players.
Okay.
So I wasn't really surprised. I was kind of proud of them because how young their team is and stuff.
So maybe your dad can answer this question too, being the president. What's the age limit on the Athletics? Were they like a bunch of 12-year-olds too, Bob?
No, actually, they were primarily 11-year-olds.
Okay.
They had 2 12-year-olds. So they were kind of like we were last year. Our team was this year primarily 12-year-olds, but last year I don't want to say we took our licks. We had a very strong pitching staff.
Yeah.
But, when it came to the offense and defense, our experience last year really showed. So it was easy to get us rattled and made mistakes in the field. This year, I think that we were able to kind of pull through some hiccups early on, and just the maturity made a big difference. So basically a year between the two groups, but Astros are a really talented young group.
Yeah, they really are. Again, hats off to Mike Long bringing that young team in, and so basically the record, and it happens. I wish I had how they finished. I know they were 2-6, but it would have been nice to see how close some of those games were, because sometimes the record's a record, but sometimes the final score doesn't really dictate how the game actually was played. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that if I recall, not knowing specifics, I think most of the games, even throughout the league, were really, really close. There's a lot of parity, and we do our best to do that, because it's no fun being on either end of that, either being the team that's being blown out or the team that's doing the blowing out. It's at least as a coach, I can't. Those are my least favorite games. If it's a 1-0 game and we lose, that's a great game.
I know.
It's like the first game of the championship series was 3-2. That's the way it should be. But I think what gave the Astros kind of some hiccups earlier in the field wasn't their bats. It really wasn't their pitching. It was their defense. At times let them down, and once in a while there's a couple of ugly innings, and that's all it takes. Especially when you're playing teams with some older kids, they'll take advantage of that. You can't give good teams extra outs, and they did that a few times. But overall, there was a lot of parity in the league.
Absolutely. So, Luke, I have a question now. Don't forget, jump in if you want, because we're just. I'm actually. I don't know if you can see on Facebook, but I'm actually pointing at KC at Catherine Conley. I'm waiting for her to jump in. But I had another question for Luke. Layden Doobie, right? Were you surprised at all the way the pitching performance he pitched in Game 1, or was that something you expected?
He was pitching really well. He's a good pitcher. I think everybody can hit off him, but he knows how to throw the ball across the plate, so it wasn't hard to hit against him, but he definitely put up a fight. Yeah,
he kept. Yeah, exactly. He ended up in the Game 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ks in 5. Not bad. Gave up the 3 big runs in the third that put you guys ahead. Was the confidence pretty much there once you guys took the lead in the bottom of the third inning, or were you guys just? Oh, I should say you. What was your mindset once you guys took that 2-1 lead?
Once we took that lead, I was just really confident. So I think our team's confidence got us playing pretty well. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what teams do you like to play against, and why is that?
I like playing against the good teams because even if we lose, I want to know how they play. So.
I messed up. That was my fault.
I think that's my fault.
No, I saw it. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. Bob, I'm sorry about that. Landon, are you still with us? Hello? Landon, are you still with us?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, great. Sorry about that. So what happened is, Yours truly, I actually dropped the ball. We get a digital system here, and I got so carried away. We were getting so caught up in the questions, I forgot to press stop the timer for that quarter. So let's go back to Catherine's original question. Landon, do we still got you, buddy?
This is Luke. Yeah, you got Luke.
Luke. Sorry, Luke.
Yep.
You still there?
Mm-hmm.
Attaboy. Hey, sorry about that, my young friend. So.
Okay.
So her question. Go back to your question.
Yeah, so what teams do you like to play against and why?
I like playing against the great teams like the A's. Even though we took 2 hard losses, it was good going against them just to know how they play and see what our championships and playoffs are going to look like.
So personally, for you, when unfortunately you said you lost the athletics, what did you think you learned from that, being a 12-year-old, besides, taking it in stride and moving on to the next game? What else do you think you learned from that, from those losses?
Like, we're a good team. The A's are a good team. It's just,
It really forced us to acknowledge that there's very little margin for error.
Yeah, exactly.
One bobble ball, one pass ball, one strike out without putting the ball in play. It makes a big difference. That's what I try to really express to the boys is that the margin is very small. Winning, losing, we expect to win, but again, a good loss is still a win in my category as far as things you can learn from.
Absolutely.
But it was, I think that they understood that, even though we didn't throw our 1 and 2 aces against in those 2 losses, we still played tough, and there was plenty of opportunities for the kids to play different positions. And again, that's one thing we try to do in East Bridgewater is we're not going to march our 9 horses out there and put them in the same positions all the time. Regular season is an opportunity to move kids around. If you want to play third base, you haven't done it before. As long as you can protect yourself, we're going to put you there. Come on. So but again, it's all about jockeying for the position in playoffs. The playoffs is a separate season, as the A's found out. The Astros played their best game against them in the semis, and that's who we met in the championship game.
So, Coach, if I can add to that about how you guys move guys around, so everyone gets a shot at a position they can play. I think the other thing. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just coughing.
We just lost the sports master. He's coughing over there in the background. One of the other things that I think you're leaving out is that, you're not going to put kids in harm's way. You're not going to put kids in harm's way either. You're going to make sure they can play there, even though they want to play there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's not really so much as far as putting kids in the field, trying these things. It's not about failure. It's going to happen. Errors.
Yeah.
It's more about if you put it in the hot corner, are they going to be able to deal with a line drive coming their way, at the very least protect themselves? And sometimes the answer is no, especially with the younger kids. But we really, there's no other way to get them comfortable with that unless they're in the field. So again, it's a judgment call, and we do our best. But and that's why fall ball, which is coming up soon. We are planning on a fall season.
Good.
It's another instructional type season that we can even be more experimental. So there's no jockeying, cheating. We do have playoffs, but we pull numbers out of a hat. So as far as if you're going to throw a kid that's never thrown before and he gets shelled or can't even find the strike zone, that's okay.
Right.
They still got to get the kids out there to give them the confidence to come back in the spring when it really matters, quote unquote, to perform. And it's the confidence is a big part of this game, and we try our best to instill people, give them confidence, but also play the game the right way.
Right. All right. We have another caller. Hello, caller. Who's this?
This is Gabe Garcia.
Gabe Garcia. How are you, young man? Thank you for calling in.
Good.
Have you had a chance to listen to the show at all? The first couple minutes?
No.
Oh, that's all right. So Coach is on the other lines. Coach, can you hear Gabe?
Yeah, how you doing, Gabe?
Good.
All right, Gabe, let's get your insight. And I know, why don't you go back with that question you asked Luke earlier, Catherine?
Yeah, so
And throw that and see let's get Gabe's thoughts.
Yeah, so Gabe, I already asked Luke this, so what teams do you like to play against and why is that?
I like to see teams that are like ready to play and like not sloppy on the field.
Did you have any favorite ones this year you like to play, buddy?
I like facing the Marlins
And why was that?
because they're like a good team and they weren't too easy to beat, and you had to be ready almost all the time.
There you go. So for Gabe Garcia as a pitcher, Coach, I had him down for 4 Ks. He batted .333 in the championship series with a single and a double, and I didn't get his on base, so I apologize for that. But not bad, Gabe. Good job, young man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I ran this by Luke, and I wanted to get everyone's perspective on the championship series. Were you expecting the Astros to play that tough? I mean, we talked about a little bit about, the record doesn't really make sense sometimes, and this is one of the cases because, they battled all the way back to play you guys in the championship series. Were you expecting to play them in your mind, or were you thinking Athletics?
I was in the Athletics
Yeah.
because we had a hard time beating them all season, and the Astros didn't really have a good record until the playoffs.
I know, right? Like Coach was mentioning how it's 2 different seasons once you start the playoffs, and I think he hit the nail on the head there with that question. It really is funny how teams just go into another gear and their mindset's clear. Next, there are you and the Astros going at it. But when did you think during game 1 did you think you guys had a good chance of pulling it off? Was it after you guys took the lead at 2-1, or are you the type of guy that wants to wait till the final out?
I think we were gonna win once we started getting together and we took the lead.
Okay. And what about that? What about I was talking to Luke and Coach about Layden Doobie, who pitched a great game. He really had his stuff on there in game 1 for the Astros, didn't he?
Yeah.
So what were you worried about? You obviously know he had good control. What were you worried about when you went up there the first time against him in game 1?
I was just worried on where he was gonna put the ball.
Yeah.
And how he's gonna paint the corners.
So are you the type of guy that likes to go for the outside stuff, or how would you describe your, what you're thinking when you get up to the plate?
I'm just thinking to put the ball in play mostly.
Okay. Because you know how sometimes those umpires, and I am an umpire, but I know sometimes the umpires call it, and it's kind of hard this year with the guys calling it behind the mound, so something that comes across your eyes and they call it a strike, it kind of makes you think about what the swing is. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
So you think patience is definitely something you got to take into consideration when you're going against an umpire that unfortunately calls those. They don't do it on purpose. They're just trying to get their best eye, but it has to be a little bit. You got to think quick, don't you?
Yeah. You have to see where the ball's going, and depending on where he's called it before is where you have to make sure that's a strike.
There you go. So, yeah, like I said before, I had you down for .333 in the championship series. 4 Ks, what's your favorite pitch to pitch? Do you have more than one? Because I know some young kids have more than one pitch, or are you just a fastball guy that likes to take the corners when you pitch?
I throw more than one pitch, but we can't throw as many pitches as we can because we're too young.
Okay. But do you like that idea, or do you want to throw that curveball?
Yeah.
All right, you can be honest now that the season's over. You can tell me how many curveballs did you throw?
No, I have not thrown one curveball in town.
Oh, you haven't thrown one in town. Do you play AAU too?
Yeah.
Who do you play AAU for?
Venom.
And where do they play out of? I heard of them before.
Hanover.
Oh, okay. That's a couple towns. Oh, that's not too bad of a ride.
Yeah.
Right, so you get all new friends over there with the Venom guys. And are you playing fall ball for For the rec league, are you gonna just, or are you gonna
Yeah.
play AAU fall ball league? I think they call it, right?
I'm playing both.
You're playing both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a busy kid. Luke, how about you? Are you playing AAU too or no?
I'm planning to play AAU next season, yes, but right now I do not have a plan what team I'm going to go for.
Oh my God, your little coach! I think their arms are gonna fall off their body playing so much baseball.
Honestly, we were very lucky to have a lot of good arms on my team this year, Gabe being one of them, and we were able to kind of share the wealth. So our kids really didn't pitch a whole heck of a lot of innings and throws. So I mean, had a luxury of arms. And just to go back on Gabe's pitching, he does it. We didn't go curveballs, and that's kind of our league standard, at least regular season. No curveballs, but change ups and are a-okay. And Gabe has a filthy circle change that he threw quite a bit on that second game of the Champions Series. He threw 30 pitches in 3 innings, so 3 10-pitch innings. Each one of them he made some batters look really foolish at times with that circle change. And in my opinion, a good changeup is probably the most effective pitch, at least at this level.
You know what? I loved his persona when he was on the hill. He was just so fluent when he came across, like you said, when he threw that circle change and his fastball. But before I let you go, Gabe, I was wondering if you want to give a shout out to anybody on the team, or you want to say hi to before I let you go.
Manny had a great season pitching,
Yeah,
and Devin pitched really well in the last game.
yeah, he did. You want to shout out to mom and dad or anybody, or a dog or a relative or a pet or something?
My dad and my mom.
There you go. Well, it's great to talk to you, young man. Maybe I'll see you. I know I'll probably see you when I help out EBX's TV covering the baseball games over there at the high school. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. All right, Coach, we're going to take a second break, and we'll come back, and we'll have that other young man in a minute. Coach, you still with us?
I'm still here, yeah.
All right, so we're going to step away. Now I have control of everything, so we can do this a lot more professionally. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. You can go to our Facebook link and watch or listen to Coach Schrader and Luke Schrader and the other gentleman. We're going to have a couple more guys on before we finish this hour. We are covering the East Bridgewater Little League champions in East Bridgewater, baseball Little League champions in East Bridgewater. We'll be back with more right after this.
I'm gonna go.
Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. I'm Dominic Damiano, joined by Justin Ferry, the sports master. He will have the highlights of the Taunton Babe Ruth results from last week as they finish up their Babe Ruth League over in Taunton. And, of course, Catherine, a.k.a. KC. Luce Cabral is taking care of her mom, and she will not be in today. She'll hopefully be in next week when we try to have another high school or youth group. It's still deciding on who we're going to have in for next Saturday. But right now we have the pleasure of being joined by Bob Schrader and Luke Schrader. Bob is the president and the manager of the Cubs that won the 2020 East Bridgewater Little League Championship Series, which we had the pleasure to broadcast here on WARA. And a big thank you goes out to Jim Jones, general manager, who I thought that was really cool, Bob, when he let us go do that.
It was very cool. I mean, it got the kids really excited to get the opportunity to be on the air, live on air, and then taped. It made it special. We really appreciate you doing that for us.
Oh, absolutely. So hopefully next year with my work schedule will work out again, and then I'll look like a genius.
Well, hopefully that next year's a little bit different. But yeah, we hope you can cover it.
Yeah, that would be fun. So we are waiting for Mr. Jenkins to call in, if I read your message right during the break.
Right.
Let me see. We're going to brag about Derek Jenkins, who actually missed. He missed game 1, had a prior commitment, but he came back for game 2, and I believe I have a couple stats on him. Derek Jenkins went 2 for 3 in game 2, 667. And as far as, let me just go, people watching on Facebook are like, oh, is that how they do it? Yeah, I flip all these pages with no interns. So let me see, I had Mr. Jenkins, he was in the 6th spot, single in the 1st, grounded out 1-3 to end the 3rd inning, and then he singled in the 5th, and that was his very good contribution, coming in late, because I don't know, Coach, sometimes I worry, even the good ball players, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, even the good ball players sometimes, even when they get that break, sometimes they can fall into that rusty mechanics, I guess is probably the best way to say it, where they lose their rhythm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. And just to give Derek the kudos, he swung a tremendous bat this year. All season he was just hitting the ball, nice line drives, and he's one of those other kids that he plays in the AAU as well. So he's getting a lot of hacks this spring and summer. So he was definitely came ready to hit. I'll give that much. He had a heck of a year in a game. Yeah,
he did. He helped out. That was good to get that extra boost. I know you already know, and the kids probably, the kids looking at their own mindset, but you and your coaching staff knew the Astros were not going to go away. They kept on trying to poke, and then, of course, you guys opened it up to finish the game off, by means of the mercy rule, but again, kudos to the Astros. They just, like you said again, how it's another season once the playoffs start. They just wouldn't go away. They just kept on poking at you guys.
That first game was, when we were up 3-1, and we at the last inning we had Manny Del Carmen come in to kind of close the game for us. I always knew that the Astros are a heck of a hitting team, so they have a chance to put the ball in play, and they did. And we had trouble on a couple of occasions that kind of gave them some extra life, a couple of extra outs, and they took advantage of it. I mean, they had bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and we just eked it out. Thankfully, Manny overpowered the last hitter, but it was a little nerve-wracking, but again, a tremendous game and effort on both teams.
Coach, I do not miss being in your shoes.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hey, Derek Jenkins and Derek Jenkins.
Derek Jenkins, the Jenkins. Derek, sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not bad, hanging in there, sir. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, I've been listening to the show so far. It's been great.
Thank you. All right, so we gotta talk to the ball player, Mr. Jenkins. We need to talk to Derek Jenkins.
He's sitting right next to me. We're on speaker.
Awesome. All right, so I don't. Yeah, that should be fine. That's coming in pretty good. So, Derek, how did you feel about missing game 1? Were you worried about missing game 1?
No, because I knew my team could beat them.
You gotta love the confidence, Coach. Can we get him a little closer?
Sure. Yep. There you go.
Derek, so you were pretty confident in the team going into game one?
Yeah.
Okay. So what, were you surprised to see the Astros in game, in the championship series against you? Or were you another one expecting the Athletics because of the regular season?
Yes, I was expecting Athletics.
Okay. So I know I'm here with, just to let you know, Coach, I'm here with Catherine Conley, a.k.a. Casey, and the Sportsmaster, and we'll be trying to go back and forth. And Catherine has a question for Derek.
Yeah. So I asked the two other players this question too, so I wanted to ask you too. So, what teams do you like to play against, and why is that?
All teams, because they're all competitive and they're all good.
Cool.
Okay.
I also wanted to ask you guys, so it's both of the players, who is your favorite baseball player and why?
On my team?
Well, no, do you mean the majors?
Yes.
Your favorite professional player. You can say Derek Jenkins. He's going to be a professional player soon, right?
I still like Mookie Betts.
Oh, nice. Luke, how about you? Who's your favorite player? I don't know if you answered that earlier from...
My favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
Oh, nice. Two great players. All right, so you come back from game. You come into game two. Derek? What was the mindset going into game two for you and your teammates? Were they pretty relaxed?
Focus and confidence.
Nice, very nice. And would you say that was your mindset too, as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you change any of your normal preparations for the playoffs? I mean, especially the championship series.
No.
So you just kept it normal, like you normally do, nice, relaxed, and go through the motions and stuff?
Kept it loose.
Kept it loose. Attaboy. Attaboy. You're getting right to the question. Coach Jenkins, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So now, what I know you guys had prior commitments. Game one. How was your mindset going into game two? I know I talked to Coach Schrader a little bit about, he was, like any other coach, you get nervous because you just don't know after a real competitive game in game one. What was your outlook, or what were you hoping to get done so you could? I mean, of course, Manny led it off with a home run in the top of the first. But what was your perspective going into game two?
Well, kind of a funny story. We were actually down the Cape, and we kind of decided on which games to come back. We didn't come back for all of them, so we decided to skip out on game one. But the service down there was awful. And Derek and I just had assumed for 3 or 4 days that we were playing the Athletics in the championship. We didn't even know the Astros had upset them. Until the night before, I looked at the schedule and I said, Derek, guess what? We're playing the Astros. So we were actually surprised. And so game one, we kind of, we hated to miss the game actually because, we're both pretty committed. But the team took care of business, without us, came back for game two. We were excited to play the Astros. Derek has a lot of friends on the Astros, a lot of 11-year-olds, his age, his grade. And they're both really great teams. So, Derek says we came in with confidence, but we knew the Astros had beaten the Athletics, so we still had to play good ball.
Yeah, from what I heard from just around, the kids around the ballpark is that there were diving catches, game-winning catches in that semifinal game. I mean, maybe that's the game I really should have put on the radio. I mean, they said of course, the championship series was fun and awesome to do, but it sounds like that athletic game, Astros game, was like unbelievable. I don't know if you guys heard the same thing.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Bob was probably there, but yeah, I think the best games always are when it's an upset,
Yeah, absolutely.
Expect one thing to happen and something else happens.
Yeah, I would have to agree that I was actually there towards the tail end of that game, and that's when things got really tense. Because again, the Astros were very big underdogs going into this, and just the fact that they were still in it and actually up by 3 runs in that last inning, that's when things get a little tense. You can see kids get tight. Maybe balls take bad bounces, and things can cascade and get out of hand pretty quickly. But they stayed tough, and they got some really good pitching performance from a couple of their youngsters. Daniel Vaughn being the one that closed out the game, and it was a heck of a performance. And these kids, they played their best game of the year, and this is when you do it.
Absolutely.
Playoff.
Absolutely. So I'm trying to see if we have some people checking in on the Facebook link. I'm just checking that right now. Looks like we have a couple people watching, but this show will be rebroadcast on East Bridgewater Access TV, and actually a couple of the other access towns we cover around southeastern Mass. So no one is really, well, it's kind of hard to call them, but I was hoping to get some of the parents to chime in. Oh, I got one from Tom Joyce. He's one of our sports writers. He did not make the game. He wants to know, he says, ask them how playing other sports have helped them to to become a baseball player. I believe if I'm reading them right. Ask him how playing the sports have helped them to be a baseball player. So let's start with Derek. Derek, do you play more than one sport?
Yeah.
And how do you believe that helped you with playing baseball?
Having more skill and more confidence.
Okay. No, that's fine. I that was as basic as question. What about you, Luke? Do you play other sports as well?
Yeah.
And how do you believe those other sports helped you prepare for baseball?
A lot of confidence and getting faster.
Okay. All right, is that it? I don't know if you remember. You remember there's no such thing as a wrong answer. You're educating us. I want to thank Tom Joyce for checking in, our sports writer who helps us out in the Quincy, Marshfield, Duxbury area, checking in, listening broadcast with you guys on the radio and on Facebook. So we're about to take our last break, guys. Can we hold on to you, Coach? Do we have someone coming on the set bottom half of the hour? This is it, correct?
I think this is you got the crew right here. Yeah.
All right, great. All right, good. So we're going to take our last break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and off our Facebook page via WARA 1320 Facebook page. We are highlighting the 2020 East Bridgewater Little League champions, the Cubs. We'll be back with more right after this.
Wow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at the news station, 1320 AM, WARA. I apologize if anyone sees my glasses being fogged up. Yeah, these masks, they do that to you. Anyhow, so we're here at the East Bridgewater Little League, the champions Cubs. They are on the phone with us tonight, so you guys still with us?
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Oh, awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, so Coach, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you have any shout-outs for your board members?
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to my entire board and even the execs as well as the team members. I won't single them out specifically, other than Derek, who was our safety officer. We actually, so it was a tremendous amount of effort to get us just to have a season, period. Our VP of baseball and softball, so softball, Donnie Davidson, and we got Mike Long, who was the coach of the Astros, was the VP of baseball, who's again a tremendous amount of work and effort to actually make the season happen. And one of the thankless jobs, probably most complicated jobs. Actually, two people I wanted to make the shout out: our treasurer, who kind of made things happen, but also Steve Lovell, who's Brian Pinkham, our treasurer, but also Steve Lovell, our player agent, and one of the other coaches. Just again, I really hard to describe just the anxiety of the prospect of not having a season, and then working with the Board of Health here in East Bridgewater to come up with a reasonable plan and then actually make it happen. Now it seems like distant memory, but it was some anxious moments. I don't know if you have any comments on that, Derek.
Yeah, I think that we stuck with it. From what I'm hearing, probably only 50% of the other towns actually ended up having a season. There was a lot of uncertainty. We didn't really know what to do. And, we kind of just stuck with it, kept meeting, kept following the guidelines, what we heard from Little League International and, Charlie Baker and beyond. And luckily we were able to put together a season and end up being really successful. It was a little weird at first, not being in the dugout, but I think after a couple of games we adjusted, and I think the kids had a great season and a lot of fun. And, in a couple of weeks we're going into our fall season. So, with baseball being one of the only fall sports being played, again, we're happy about that, and hopefully we're going to get some more kids that maybe hadn't played baseball previously. Or maybe they did and they're going to come back.
Yeah, that has to be tough, especially as the safety officer and the president. I mean, so many concerns about this whole COVID-19. I like pushing the positive stuff, but you guys did a great job. I mean, and you kind of left it at the parents' discretion, common sense, as far as, wear a mask. The kids will be separate from the kids, and you could see that. But when it comes down to it, once you guys apply your safety rules, it's up to the parents to actually understand or ask questions. And you know what I mean? You can't hold another adult's hand, but you can have guidelines, and it's up to the parents to do it. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we really did expect. We obviously had our guidelines. We worked together with the Board of Health in East Bridgewater to put together. Again, not just rules, but rules that we can actually follow and execute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we did emphasize to parents that please read these. If you have questions, let us know. And again, I always told them that if I felt that if these kids were at risk, we wouldn't be having a season right now. So I think a lot of people have their fears. That we just have to talk them through it and make sure that they understand that it was just as important for these kids to get outside, play together, see each other. These kids have been locked up for 2 months at this point.
Right.
And even the parents, I think the coaches, we needed this season as much as anyone. I think for our community, it was a huge bonus. And that it's going to be hard for these kids to go back to school and their whatever logistics they are, half on, half off. But again, I think this provided a little bit of normalcy in a very unnormal time.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And so how was overall, though, the complaining department, I guess, to say? I mean, once they understood the ground rules and what you and Derek were trying to do, and, of course, the blessing of the rest of the board so these kids could play and the girls could play softball, were there a lot of complaints? What was the outlook? Or not the outlook, but what was the whole, you know what I mean? What were they, how many times did they come up and complain? I mean, was it reasonable? Was it overbearing? You know what I mean? I'm just curious.
It's a good question. At the beginning, there was some anxiety from some of the community members, and they, basically a misunderstanding of what the guidance and guidelines were. So they would call the Board of Health and raise a complaint. But we had some very good advocacy from the Board of Health to say, you know what, they're doing exactly what we agreed they would do, and how they do it. If you have any questions, direct them to they're directing to the Board of Health, and they became kind of a buffer after a point to kind of save us from some of the slings and arrows that would come our way. I think there's always going to be people that are anxious around in uncertain times, and they do come out. I think overall, after the season kicked off, and we didn't have any issues now or then, I think the community became a little more comfortable with us being out there and seeing kids playing, and it wasn't a shock. What do you think there?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think early on we had a couple issues, and actually weren't even really complaints about. I believe it might have been even other teams, on other fields. But like I said, people were just they were concerned initially of the crowd, but we did our best to keep everybody apart. And exactly what you said earlier about the parents. The first few games, I thought we did a really good job with social distancing the kids. And one of the challenges was in the bleachers, we couldn't really police the parents and the families not to sit together. Everyone did a pretty good job with it, but there was a little bit of a challenge there.
Very cool. I'm glad we just touched on that a little bit, and want to let the parents know that you guys do care, and I thought that was great perspective the way you guys just touched on that. So let's talk about fundraisers. Let's get into some more better stuff now before we let you guys go. What about fundraisers? What do we have coming up for EB Little League? When and where? Because you can't do anything without money, unfortunately, and registration can only cover so much of your costs to run a league. So what do we got coming up, Coach? Anything that we want to get out there?
Yeah, well, actually, as far as we are going to be doing some renovation, and actually, coincidentally, Derek's our fundraising chair as well, so I'll let him follow up with some of the details. But I think fundraisers, we have our snack bars, usually our big one. That was very complex. It was a very complex set of circumstances, obviously, this year, which didn't allow us to open it up. We are planning actually renovation to the snack bar facility, and we do hope to open it up this fall. So that'll be our chief fundraiser. Our annual cornhole tournament that we have for the league, which is usually booked solid, unfortunately couldn't happen because of the crowds and the groups. And,
yeah.
But we are open to doing a little bit of everything. 50-50s here and there. It's been challenging. Thankfully, we are very fiscally responsible. So we had a pretty good bank account that allowed us to get through this. And the fact that we had a season and didn't have to refund a lot of money helped as well.
Good.
But that's Eric. You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, actually, it was a pretty challenging year from a fundraising perspective. It was actually my first year going into the role. I shadowed one of our previous board members last year to kind of learn what he did. I mean, initially I was really rolling. We were doing great with our typical banner sponsorships and shirt sponsorships. We still did do very well with those two sponsorship items. The banners, we have permanent, semi-permanent banners, and we have permanent banners we go in the outfield. And we also have field sponsors and the shirt. So all of that stuff actually did sell out, which was great. That's actually right at the point we would get into the heart of the COVID challenge. And like Bob said, the cornhole tournament, which normally is a pretty good fundraiser for us, hasn't happened yet this year. And our typically, in addition to sponsorships, our snack bars are number two revenue producer. We lost that revenue this year. So actually, I feel like since early on, I haven't really done a great job of being, we're coming up with new ideas to get sponsorships, but it is something to actively take a look at it and are working on. And maybe we will be able to have that cornhole sponsorship tournament, in the fall at some point. But from a sponsor perspective, we have a lot of great sponsors, and we should thank them all. We have probably 30 to 40 local sponsors, banks, plumbing companies. I really wish I had a list. Of course, if anyone wanted to see that, it's on the East Bridgewater website. But we have a lot of great sponsors that we'll be engaging with for fall and next year.
Great. Well, guys, we want to thank you very much for taking us Saturday and letting us highlight the Cubs, the East Bridgewater Little League champions. And Coach, I know I'll see you Thursday. We'll get stuff finalized for Thursday. But Derek, it was nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Derek.
And little Derek, little DJ, right?
Yep.
All right, great. All right, so, Coach, I'll talk to you Thursday. And, guys, thank you very much for taking the time.
Hey, little Derek wants to add one thing.
Yes.
He does play for the East Coast Eagles, and they are in the semifinals tomorrow in East Bridgewater.
Oh, very cool. So let us, Coach, if you can shoot us that score after the game, who they played and the age group, I'd love to post it.
Yeah, they're playing. The semifinal was supposed to be today. It was postponed because of the rain. So East Coast Eagles 11U is playing Brian Rose baseball tomorrow, and then the champions will probably be next weekend.
Very cool. Yeah, keep us in the loop.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
You too. All right, Coach, take care. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dominic. Take care.
You too. You're welcome. All right, so that was awesome. That was the East Bridgewater Little League with Coach Jenkins and Bob Schrader and his son. So right now we will go over to the Sportsmaster. We'll pump up his music real fast. And we got one result as far as Taunton Babe Ruth. And then we're going to talk about something else coming up on some of the other shows. But here is the Sportsmaster.
Hello, everyone. This is Justin Pereira, the Sportsmaster, and here are the results on Taunton Babe Ruth. On Wednesday, Bristol County beat H&H Machine. On Thursday, Home Plate Restaurant beat Mechanics 7-6 in 10 innings. This Monday, Game 1, Taunton Babe Ruth Championship Series, Home Plate will play Bristol County Savings, and the game starts at 5:45 p.m. And don't forget, you can check us out on our Facebook page.
There you go. Nicely done. I know I wish you had some more questions, but great job like always, young man.
Thanks.
And I figure so. Your glasses. We're not gonna pick on my buddy Catherine, but see how I always keep my glasses down so I can look. But you need to keep them up to see, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I don't have like blind eye because I actually wear glasses because when I was little I had like a lazy eye, which with the pupils of the eye it could be.
Yep, that's what happened with my granddaughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I got you. So I was just trying to come up with a quick remedy and do a good job.
It helps strengthens my vision. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. No, I do. So again, hopefully Luz Cabral will be in here next week. So I'm trying to reach out to Kevin Callahan. He actually helps out with the high school baseball and hockey here on WARA with Paul Healy, I'm sorry. And he ran a rec league, like a pickup baseball league, you know what I mean? To keep the kids doing stuff. It wasn't really, So, what was I going to say? So we're going to try to hopefully get him in, talk about that league. Maybe even talk to some of the players that played. Hopefully he'll give me a call later this week. We'll try to do that. Still trying to reach out to some of the other champions. I know hockey's still playing, so I want to try to get some of the other past hockey champions on here from last year and basketball champions because they're still playing. So I thought that would be pretty cool. I had another one. I couldn't remember who it was. But anyway, that's our goal. So if you guys think of anybody you want to get on. Oh, you know what? I just thought of a great idea.
What's your idea?
You played in the Olympics, right, last week. Let's talk about that real fast.
It was actually a bocce tournament.
Okay, I thought it was cornhole because I messed it up on the radio.
Oh, no worries.
So let's talk about that bocce tournament.
So right now, I actually am now part of the YMCA Special Olympics team because I actually am going to be aging out of the North Attleboro team because I'm turning 22 next week.
I know, big gig. Yep.
Yeah, so my mom and I, both of us were a team, and we actually got silver medal for bocce.
You came in second place.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, maybe I should get, you heard of Brian Flores, the Miami Dolphins head coach? I actually know his twin brother. Maybe I can get him on the show.
Yeah, let's see if you can get him or get, maybe you can reach out to his brother. We could talk about, talk about that. His twin brother?
Yeah.
And maybe we can get the coach on and we can talk. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All We have about 3 minutes left. Again, I want to thank Bob Schrader and Derek Jenkins and their kids for coming on. And of course, Gabe Garcia calling in the middle of the first hour, talking East Bridgewater Little League. All those kids played for the Cubs. I did have the stats. Manny Del Carmen went pitching at 4Ks, actually more than that because he came in the bottom of the sixth to close out the championship game. Batted .667 in the series. Luke Schrader batted .500. Devin Blair batted .500. Luke Deftos batted .333. Gabe Garcia batted .333. Orson Lizzie batted .500. And Derek Jenkins batted .667 in game one. He went 2 for 3. And I know Manny Del Carmen had more than just the 4Ks when he came in halfway through the game in the first game, and they closed it out and had a couple more, so I believe he has 7 altogether in that championship series. Big shout out to Mike Long, the manager of the Astros. Did a phenomenal job to get those kids ready to play in that championship series and getting enough, like Coach Schrader said, it's a different season once you start the playoffs. And, I don't miss being in those nerve-wracking moments when you're trying to coach the kids and you're hoping everything turns out so-so and it doesn't. But, it is what it is. So let me just fire up some music here. I'm telegraphing everything we're doing, but as we click on this, does anyone have a particular song they want to hear before we sign off for the day? And we're going to be off here in about 40, so I might not be able to get it in. But let's go here. All right, for a.k.a. Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, and Justin Ferreira, I'm Dominic Damiano. We will catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.